Hello everyone, today I'm sharing a blog by Rory Feek called, Following the Lone Star. Let's begin. After much prayer and consideration, we are moving to Texas. We are moving to Texas. Sort of. We're not selling our farm or changing much of anything here, but we are moving ourselves and a few things for an extended period of time to the Lone Star State for a brand new season and the start of what is bound to be a completely new year. In October, I shared about me, Rebecca and Indiana traveling from Tennessee to Texas for the Homemaker Conference, and a month later when we traveled back again for the Homestead Fair. And before both of those, I shared about our trip to spend my 60th birthday there at Homestead Heritage while a big homesteading conference was going on. And so, once again we are packing up for another trip to Waco, but this time for a much longer, extended stay. Actually until today, we haven't packed much of anything. We've mostly been simplifying and preparing to pack, getting our farm and our life here ready to leave it for a while. One of our goals before leaving has been to tackle every room, in every building, everywhere here on the farm. To get them all cleaned out and organized, so we can leave knowing that we've left everything well, and when we return, we'll be coming home to what will feel like a brand new farm. Our plan is to leave out next Sunday morning, February 1 st, headed west, following behind our friends with Texas license plates, with Indy and Rebecca in her Tahoe and me in my truck, pulling a trailer full of the things we'll need while we're gone. We've already rented a house there for 6 months, but it is available, and we're open to staying for a year if that feels like the right thing for us to do. This isn't something that we had planned. Far from it. Although over the last couple of years, we've wondered about the possibility of moving to Montana or Texas or one of the other communities filled with people that we're close to. Having a deep desire for the same kind of community, church and culture here in Tennessee, we've been praying that God would make it clear what the next step for us would be. We knew it was possible that He might call us to move somewhere, or that He'd just have us stay here on our farm in Tennessee, but until the new year arrived, neither Rebecca nor I had even thought about the possibility of both happening at the same time. I think that when we committed to want only what God wants, and do whatever He calls us to do, and to follow His leading, He put on both of our hearts a way to try to keep the farm, and yet go on this journey to a new life in a new place that He is calling us to be part of on a deeper level. The need for the change became clear when Indy and I made the trip to Texas a few weeks ago, and even more so, when Rebecca flew there to pick her up. She found a little farmhouse that was available right in the community, near all of our friends. The timing of it all worked out perfectly. Our friends Mark and Bessie, who live there at Homestead, just up the lane from the house we've rented, and have 4 daughters that Indy is close to, drove over from Texas to help us get things prepared for our move. For the last week or so, we've all been rolling up our sleeves and knocking out the list of things to do, one by one. Mark has helped me simplify the big barns and sheds, getting things in order, and tossing what we don't need and taking trip after trip emptying the dump trailer. And Bessie, Rebe and the girls have tackled the concert hall, school, farmhouse, hub and bunkhouse. Today, now that most of the simplifying of the farm and barns is completed, we're actually starting to get tubs out and decide what's going and what's staying here. There is still much to do, and with the ice and cold weather that has moved in, it makes it a little harder, but we've still got a week, and can take our time and enjoy the process as we go. We've also been making time for fun. There have many evenings of pickleball and game nights. And many more to come. To say that our family is excited about the move is an understatement. Indy can hardly sleep at night, just thinking about being so close to all the friends she has there and all the different activities she's going to get to be a part of, kids choir, crafts, education co-ops, and being able to walk to friends' houses, etc. I wasn't so sure about Rebecca, but when God finally made it clear to me that this is what we should do, I asked what she thought and her response was, "I'm already there." And she has been. She's grown very close to lots of the women in Texas and knows that being around them is only going to strengthen and deepen her faith, our marriage and our family's future. I think in her heart, she's been wanting and needing a change like this for a while now. I have too. For many years now, God has had me on a journey to a different way of seeing and doing life, seeking a different kind of culture, and a different kind of church. One that encompasses every aspect of life, and where the fruit is everywhere. And so, By moving there to the community in Texas, we'll be given the opportunity to immerse ourselves in a completely different way of life, of living, loving, working and worshiping, than most of us can even imagine is possible. And perhaps, we'll get the opportunity to bring what we learn back here to Tennessee, and help others find and experience the same incredible hope that we have. Even though we know the time will fly by and we'll be back before we know it, it is still going to be hard to leave the farm that has been such a big part of our lives for so long. For Rebecca, since she started teaching at the schoolhouse in 2018, for Indiana, since birth, and for me, since I bought and moved into the farm in 1999. And as you can probably imagine, there are many things we're still unsure about that we'll have to figure out as we go, but here are a few things we do know. We will still be hosting our annual Homestead Festival here at our farm this coming June 5th to 6th, so if you've purchased tickets, or are planning to, it's still happening, and we're excited to all be together at the farm again for the big weekend event. The festival is not only something we personally love, we feel that it is important to continue, even if the next couple of months Rebecca and I will be working and prepping for it remotely. And we'll be back here for a week or so by June 1st, to join our little festival team getting the farm turned into the beautiful fairgrounds it becomes each June. Unfortunately, I am canceling all my 2026 home concert dates that are on the books here at our barn. It would be too hard to try to live in Texas as a family, and have to make the trek back to Tennessee every month. It would almost defeat the purpose of why we're going. So if you've purchased a ticket for one of the 2026 shows, I apologize for the inconvenience. I'll be personally reaching out and sending out refunds in the coming days. This decision to move has not been without much prayer and difficulty. Leaving family and friends, leaving the farm, and all the love and hard work we've put into it, leaving the deeply connected history we've made and been part of for the last 27 years, even just for an extended stay, it's all very hard to imagine. But it's also necessary. It's hard to move forward if you're too afraid to take the first scary step. This particular moment reminds me of another one 15 years ago. Back in January 2014, when Indiana was about to be born and Joey and I made the decision to take the year off and to simplify our lives and homestead. We were taking a step that we'd felt God put on our hearts to go deeper with Him, and with each other. And so for a season, we walked away from the life that we'd been living, got out of our comfort zones, and stepped into something unknown and new. It was scary at the time too, but also very exciting for us. That moment 12 years ago is actually when this blog began. That was when I first sat down at a keyboard and picked up a camera and started documenting this life I live, story by story. It was a, what would happen if, moment for us. And so, now here we are 15 years later, and I feel like this moment in our lives, is very much like that one. We're once again embarking on a great journey into the unknown, believing, knowing, that God is going to do something amazing in this coming year. That was the blog, Following the Lone Star, by Rory Feek. Thank you for listening. Please keep the family in your prayers. See you next time.